Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to expand your knowledge on Theorem of Pythagoras. So what you are seeing here, definitely you are seeing two right-angled triangles where there is a question which says find BD. You are having two right-angled triangles which are connected, and assuming that this is triangle number 1 and this is right-angled triangle number 2, you will realize that what the question wants you to find, it is in triangle number 2. But in triangle number 2, you don't have enough information. You only have CD, which is equals to 3. So why can't we use triangle number 1 in order to find that side BC, which we will therefore use in order to calculate side BD? So it's like you are doing the same thing 2 times. That is the tricky part about this type of a question, where you do know very well that the formula, it is, let's just keep it simple and say r squared equals to, let's just say side 1 squared, that you plus it with side 2 squared. It doesn't really matter whichever way that you write. You can still say AC squared, being the hypotenuse side, equals to AB squared plus BC squared. It doesn't really matter that much. Now let's substitute where you have 8 squared, which is equals to side 1, you can still say 4 squared is still fine, plus side 2 squared. So the question now is, which one is side 2? Side 2, it is that BC. So instead of me writing it as side 2, let me just write it as BC squared. Okay, maybe let me do this just in case if I'm losing you there. Let me do this and say this is a triangle that you will first focus on, because it is the one that has enough information. Otherwise it has too much information. That's why you have to start there. So that means it is this triangle A, B, C, and D, where I'm having 8 and 4. So by now, I'm just making an assumption that you already know how to work it out when it is like this. So I'm just saying, do what you already know to find that side. That's what I'm actually doing there. So let's see. Obviously, you end up having your 8 squared, where you need to minus 4 squared, which will be equals to BC squared. Let me quickly get my calculator and punch out that and see what I'm getting. So let's see. I'm going to say 8 squared minus 4 squared equals to 48. So that means it is 48, which is equals to BC squared. So you will definitely need to square root both sides so that you find what BC is. And then you will have to square root that, and then you end up getting your BC being equals to, so I've just punch square root of 48. This is what I'm getting. I'll round it to 2 decimal places, and then it is 3. This is equals to BC. So that means BC is equals to 6.93. Okay, so that means now I know what that side is. It is 6.93. So now that I've got that side being 6.93, then I can now use it in order to find a BD. BD, remember, it is the hypotenuse side. So it's like now I'm jumping onto the next triangle, which is that one, where this side of BC, it is the same value as that because those sides are connected. And then this side, it is 3. So this is the side that I'm looking for, and it is the hypotenuse. So that is why I will therefore jump onto that triangle number 2. In that triangle, I will therefore still use the same formula, where it is now actually BD that I am looking for, which should therefore be equals to side 1 squared that you plus it with side 2 squared. So that means a BD squared is equals to side 1 is fine, you can still take it as your 6.93, which you square. Then you've got your side 2, which is being 3, you square it. Then remember, it is BD squared that you are now still working on. So in the brackets you have 6.93, you close, you squared, you plus it with 3, you squared, you say it's equals to, then it gives you a value which is 57.0249. Don't round it as yet because this is not your final answer. Then you will therefore square root both sides. You will square root both sides, and then you can just say square root of that 57.0249 equals 2. Then you end up getting your BD being equals to 7.55, and that is the end of it. I've just rounded it off, corrected to decimal places. I hope that made sense. So maybe very quickly, let me just try to see if I can give something which is meant to be complicated. I'm just hoping that you are going to understand this one. Otherwise, if not, just make sure that you do not continue without you fully understanding what is going on. Okay. Let's quickly check. Let us quickly check. What are we checking? Let's say maybe for some reason you are given this. Then from this one, maybe we do that and that. Let me just exaggerate it and say from there we do that. So can you see, you are now becoming a structural engineer now. You are now becoming a structural engineer where we say this is right angle, and then that one there, and then that one there. Yes. Then let's see. I'm going to maybe, let's say, give you that there, and then give you that there. So do that, get that, and then okay, yes, that is length of that, and that. Then let's say this one is 10. Let me just say meters so that you are the real structural engineer now. This is a steel bridge where you are dealing with those members and that. And then this is that, and that, and I'll take that, once you get that, and then we will say, okay, let us see, you have that and that, you have that, and then it is the longest, but that is longest, use it to get that, which is a smaller one. And then after it being a smaller one, you can therefore use it with, it's safer to put this one here as number 5. And then yes, so let's say you have A, let's say this is B, this is C, this is D, and then that point there is E. Yes, this thing is just coming out of my head. let's see if it will work out, because what I'm interested in is to showing you the calculation part. Then I can just say find a CD, not necessarily me, but it is the examiner in an exam saying find a CD. Okay, how are you going to find CD? Definitely you need to firstly identify the number of triangles that you are having. Definitely triangle number 1, triangle number 2, triangle number 3. Listen very carefully. You will have to start from right angle to triangle number 1 to get to triangle number 2 to get to triangle number 3. So you just do the same thing 3 times. The reason you start at triangle number 1 is because it's the one that has enough information. You have 1, 2. But triangle number 2, you only have 1 information. Triangle number 3, you only have 1 information. It is actually supposed to be 5 meters there. Okay, then it's fine. So now let's start with the calculations. So that means for triangle number 1, what you are actually looking for, it is this side being AD, because AD, it is the one or the side that is connected to triangle number 1 and 2. So it's like you always look for the side which is connecting 2 triangles. So obviously that side AD, it is our hypotenuse. So that is why you will say hypotenuse squared equals to side 1 squared that you plus it with side 2 squared. So now you end up having side 1, you can say it is 2 that you plus it with side 2, which is that, and that is actually your AD squared. So that means definitely 2 squared is 4 plus 3 squared is 9 plus that should be 13. So that means your AD squared is equals to 13. Let me just do it because I don't want to do such a nice lesson and then in the end we find out that I made a mistake and now I have to redo the whole. Yes, it's 13. So now you can square root both sides so that you remove that squared, and then you have AD, which will be equals to, what is square root of 13? Let's maybe write it as a decimal. Just for now, you will say 3,61 if we round it off to 2 decimal places. If you leave it like this, it's wrong. Why? Because the 10 and the 2 were given in, no, the 10 and the 2 and the 3 were given in meters. So even your final answer should be in meters. So that means now you have successfully calculated this side to be 3,61 meters. So now you see you use triangle number 2 in order to find this side which is connecting triangle number 2 and triangle number 3. Then you do it again. Now you are focusing on this one, where this side you just calculated it is 3,61 meters, and that one you were given on the question, which is that. So this side that you are looking for, it's actually a side, not necessarily the longest side. It is that. So that means your hypotenuse, it is the one facing the 90°. So that means you have AB squared. I'll just calculate. Okay, it's fine. I will just say the hypotenuse squared equals to side 1 squared that you plus it with side 2 squared. Let's see. Okay, then it's fine. So the hypotenuse, it is this one of 10, which should therefore be equals to, what will that be equals to? It will definitely be equals to, you can just say 3,61 that you plus it with the other side. The other side, it is BD that you are looking for, BD squared. You will therefore say obviously 10 squared minus 3,61 squared, which is equals to BD squared. And then, okay, let's see, 10 squared minus 3,61 squared is equals to, I'm getting 86.9679, which should be equals to BD squared. So now let's square both sides. We square root both sides. So let's see what we get. We are getting 9,33. When we round it, remember to say in meters, this should be equals to BD. But remember, I like it when it is written like this, as BD equals to 9.33 m. I'm sure by now you know why. Start say where I was saying in this way, it's like you are saying Desmond is my name, which is still right or correct. But when it's like this, it's like you are saying my name is Desmond. My name is Romanus, R-O-M-O-M-U. Okay, so let's see. We are not yet done because we have not yet answered other question. The question wants you to find a CD. Where is CD? CD, it is this other side, but this one you just calculated it to be 9.33. Yes, 9.33 meter. Okay, so side CD, let's see, what are we looking at there with regards to side CD? Okay, side CD, it looks like it should be doable. Remember, side CD, it is that one. So that means you are now at the final stage of your calculations, where you will therefore, I will need to just redraw the triangle and say we have that and that, whereby we just calculated this side to be 9.33 meters, and then this side to be 5 meters, and then what else? Yes, I think this is all that we need. Then from there, maybe let me just put in the letters, then say this is point B, this is point C, this is point D. So looks like the side that I'm looking for, it is the hypotenuse. I will therefore CD squared equals obviously side 1 squared, that you plus it with side 2 squared, and then CD, which is what we are looking for, will be equals to 5 squared, that you plus it with 9.33 squared, and then this should be equals to, let's see, 5 squared, that you plus it with 9.33 squared equals 112,0489. And then remember, this is your CD squared, where you need to square root both sides, so that after you have square root that, I don't have enough space, but I'll write it there and say CD, it is therefore equals to, we just say square root of an answer, it is equals to 10.59 if you round it to 2 decimal places, and then that is in meters, because all that you have been given all along, it was in the units of meters. And that is how you work it out, and this is an extension of what I assume you know and fully understand by now, which is your application of the understanding of the Theorem of Pythagoras. So I'm pretty much sure that all that I've explained, it does make sense. Maybe very quickly, let me just verify if all that I've done it correctly. That first one, let's see, yes, 8 squared, you minus it with that, and then you square root both sides, and that's how you get the answer being BC. I'm checking that first one where I had to find BC. No, BD I meant to say. Then BD squared, yes, that is the hypotenuse, and then you just plug it in there, square root both sides, and that. Okay, that one there, yes, you need to find that from triangle number 1, and then you jump onto triangle number 2, you use that information from triangle number 1, and then you jump onto triangle number 3, and you definitely use the information calculated in triangle number 2, and then you follow the mesh process, and that's how you work it out. Okay, now I